Hello, awesome 10th grade. It's Miss Jess. I'm going to show you a couple of techniques that you're going to use while you're making your map. My first big suggestion is that you draw all your details out in pencil first. I didn't do all my details on this one because I did another example, but I just put a few on here so I can demo for you. A couple things that you want to think about when you're working on your map. One is that having interesting lettering is going to make your maps have a certain mood or tone and change the way that they feel. So Miss Ross is going to give you a few examples of some lettering, some things that you can do to transfer the letters on there. You can just kind of look and try to copy as best you can, as I did here, or you can use the old carbon pencil trick and you can trace whatever letter you want to transfer over on the back and just kind of rub the side of your pencil all over it, right? And then flip it over, and I'm going to transfer my M, let's say here. This might take a little practice, so you might want to practice this on a separate sheet of paper. And then hopefully whatever you transferred will at least be down enough for you to see it, and you'll be able to get the letters that you want. Okay, after you do that, and you get all of your matte materials on there, you're going to use Sharpies to fill in your design. I really like using a combination of thick and thin Sharpies for different parts of my map. Alright, so maybe for my smaller letters I might change to a thinner one. And then I can always fill in with my thicker one. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is shadow and hatching. So using the hatch mark technique to create shadows can really make your maps come to life a little bit and have them look a little bit 3D. So in the back here I have just some mountains that I sort of threw in really quickly. If I wanted to take those to the next level, I can trace them, then I can put a shadow in. Your shadows are all going to be on the same side, so either the right or the left. I can kind of in my head or with a pencil decide, you know, where's the face of my mountain going to be and how can I add my shadow in. Then I can use the hatching technique, just like this, to create the illusion of the shadow of my mountain. Also, the hatching technique can be used to dress up your trees a little bit. It's totally fine if you want to make just kind of regular cone pine trees or some regular trees that would indicate a different kind of a forest. It's also up to you how you make your symbols. But if you want to make it a little bit fancier, you can use the hatching technique to kind of give the feel of pine needles. And you can hatch darker on one side to give the illusion of a shadow. Alright, the last thing that I'm going to show you is the watercolor technique. So that should happen when you're totally finished. In order for my piece to be totally finished though, I'm going to want to outline using my thick Sharpie. I want to use a scrap sheet of paper under my matte piece so that I don't get Sharpie on the table, because as we all know it won't come off. So it's pretty easy to kind of trace around because you want your country to be distinguished, and then kind of color in from there. And you can go a little bit thinner if you want, but it really does help to have that piece of paper down there. Now if you make a mistake like that, you can kind of just blend it in. Alright, so once you get everything traced and everything's in Sharpie, then you can come in with your watercolor. When you open up your watercolors, you're going to have a palette that looks like this. You can use whatever colors you want, but you might want to use colors that are all in the same family because they'll blend together better. So maybe all the reds, the yellows, and the oranges, or all the yellows, the greens, and the blues. Maybe all the blues and the purples. Brown and black you could add to any color. And to start this process, I like to get my watercolor paper a little bit wet with just water in just one area where I'm going to start. Then, put my water here, I can use my palette at the top here to mix some of my colors. So if I wanted to do maybe, let's say I want to do red and purple for my map. I can mix up a little bit of this red with some water, and then I can add it into my spot that I've already gotten a little bit wet, and I can kind of just start spreading things around. If I want to get it a little darker, I can dip directly in. And if I want to blend with the purple, I can clean my brush off, dip into the purple, and start blending those colors together. It is definitely possible to change colors as you go, but you want to try to make sure you're working in the same family. So red and purple, red and blue make purple, so I could mix either one of those with purple. But if I mix in green, it might start to look a little muddy. All right, and that's it for your demo. Have fun.